You've probably picked a walking shoe the same way most people do. You stood in a store, took 10 steps on the carpet and thought, yeah, these feel fine. That 10-second carpet test is not how your feet find out the truth. The truth shows up around mile 3, when the ache starts creeping into your heel and you blame your age instead of your shoes. Today we're covering 8 pairs, total 3 that podiatrists keep warning people about, and 5 that actually earned their spot after real testing on real sidewalks, not just a quick lap around a store. We priced every single one, checked where it actually sells, and skipped anything we couldn't verify. And the last pick on this list is the one shoe that showed up on almost every single 2026 lab test we found. For a reason that surprised us, it's the shoe that beat out models nearly twice as expensive. Here's the stake. Walking feels like the safest exercise. There is no equipment, no gym membership, no real risk. But the wrong shoe turns a safe activity into a slow injury. Foot and ankle surgeons say they see plantar fasciitis, arch pain, and tendon issues that trace directly back to unsupportive shoes, not to age or bad luck like most people assume. And it's not just old shoes doing the damage. Podiatrists point out that even a shoe that once fit fine can quietly stop supporting you the moment the sole starts breaking down underneath, which is exactly the part most people never check. Nobody sponsored this list. We're not chasing a shoe brand's ad budget. We're looking at what actually holds up after 10 miles, not 10 steps. Let's start with the 3 you should stop reaching for. Number 1 to avoid. Basic flat canvas sneakers, the classic all-white flat-soled style almost everyone owns a pair of. They look clean, they go with everything. And that is exactly the problem. They were designed to look good, not to support a foot for hours at a time. Podiatrists describe them as giving your foot nothing to work with, no arch support, minimal cushioning, no real structure underneath. Think of it like walking a long trail in dress socks instead of hiking boots. Technically, your feet are covered, but nothing underneath is actually doing the job. Foot surgeons report a direct line from this style to heel pain, arch pain, and tendon issues in patients who wear them daily, not occasionally. That doesn't mean burn them. They're fine for a quick coffee run or a short errand. It means if you're doing real daily walking. This can't be the only shoe in your rotation. And if the pair you're wearing right now is more than a year old, the flat canvas problem and the worn-out shoe problem start to stack on top of each other. Number 2 to avoid, flip-flops. Every podiatrist we found research from says some version of the same thing saved them for the pool deck, not the sidewalk. Worn for a real walk, flip-flops offer zero structure between your foot and the ground, so your toes work overtime just to keep them on with every step. That grip effort changes how you walk without you even noticing it happening. On top of that, there's a real slip and fall risk the moment the ground gets wet, or uneven, a factor most people never think about until it happens to them, especially on tile, wet pavement, or stairs where a loose sandal can slide out from under you without warning. A quick beach walk, fine, a 5,000-step errand day in them, and that's how you end up with blisters and a sore arch by dinner. Number 3 to avoid, ballet flats. They're the office and errands go-to for a reason. They're light, they slide on in 2 seconds, they look put together with almost anything. But podiatrists are blunt about this one. Zero support, minimal cushioning. Number 5, the Under Armour Charged Plus Assert 11. This is the budget pick, sitting around $60 to $70, and it's the one to grab if you're not ready to spend Brooks or Hoka money, but still want real support underfoot. Testers were surprised how comfortable and breathable it felt for the price. No dead spots that rub after a few hours, solid grip even on slick floors, and it held up over repeated wear instead of falling apart in a few months the way a lot of cheap sneakers do. Think of it like a reliable used car instead of a luxury one. It won't turn heads, but it gets you there in comfort every single day without draining your wallet. Who's it for? Anyone doing daily walks on a tight budget who's tired of replacing shoes every few months because the last pair fell apart. It won't outcushion the pricier picks later on this list, but dollar for dollar, testers didn't find a real reason to spend more if budget is the deciding factor. Number 4. The ASICS GT 2014. This is the pick if you already know your arches need real help. Testers measured it with above-average arch support and a structure that cradles the midfoot instead of just cushioning the bottom of your foot. It uses ASICS 3D guidance system, which is really just a fancier way of saying the shoe has built-in sidewalls that keep your foot from rolling inward with every step the way a guardrail keeps a car on the road on a sharp curve. Priced around $140 to $150, this is the one podiatrists point to most often for flat feet or overpronation, when your foot rolls inward too much with each step you take. It's not the softest shoe on this list, and it's not trying to be its built for control first, cushioning second, which is exactly what an unstable foot actually needs. Here's where I'll pump the brakes on the hype for a second, because it's worth admitting when something's overrated. You'll see a lot of zero drop is the healthiest way to walk content online, the idea that a completely flat shoe with no heel lift is somehow more natural for your body. Multiple podiatrists actually push back on that, warning that zero-drop shoes and barefoot-style walking can support poor mechanics instead of fixing them, especially if you didn't grow up walking that way. If a shoe brand's whole pitch is as close to barefoot as possible, that's not automatically the healthier choice. Treat it the same way you'd treat any other trend that sounds too simple to be true. Number 3. The Ultra Experience Flow 3. This one's a little different from the rest of the list, a wide toe box that actually lets your toes spread out naturally, a light 9-ounce build, and a just right feel straight out of the box that testers kept coming back to. One lead tester put it simply, his feet never ached even after all-day wear, no matter how many hours he had them on. At around $130 to $140, it's better suited to shorter and moderate walks rather than marathon step counts, since it doesn't have the same max cushion stack as our next two picks. Think of it as the difference between a comfortable daily driver and a long-haul truck. Both get you there, but they're built for different distances entirely. If your daily walk is closer to 20 minutes than 2 hours, this might actually be the more comfortable choice over the max cushion picks coming up next. Before we get to the top 2, quick heads up, the next pick is the one most people mention when they say a shoe finally fixed their heel pain. And the one after that is the shoe nearly every 2026 test panel agreed was simply the best overall. Number 2, the Hoka Bondi 9. If you've ever heard anyone describe a shoe as walking on clouds, this is usually the shoe they mean. It's built with a supercritical foam midsole foam infused with nitrogen gas during manufacturing, which sounds technical, but the result is simple. It's roughly 20% lighter and noticeably softer than a standard midsole, without collapsing under your weight the way cheap extra soft foam usually does. Testers were surprised it stays stable despite a tall 43mm stack height. Usually the taller the cushion, the wobblier the ride, but Hoka built a wider base underneath to counter that. The same way a skyscraper needs a wide foundation to stand tall without swaying in the wind. Priced around $165, at around $165, it's not the cheapest shoe here, and it's not the most cushioned either. That title still goes to the Bondi. But Of every pair on this list, it's the one that came back as the top pick from the widest range of independent testers. Not just one reviewer's personal favorite, across multiple separate 2026 test panels that had no reason to agree with each other. If you only replace one pair of shoes after watching this, most of the testing points here first. So here's the 30-second check you can actually use right now. No expertise required. Take off your current daily shoe and press your thumb firmly into the sole under the arch. If it caves in with almost no resistance, or if you can fold the whole shoe in half, like a taco, with barely any effort, that shoe isn't giving your foot the structure it needs for real walking distances, no matter how new or how expensive it looked in the store when you bought it. This one test takes less time than tying your laces, and it works on any shoe you already own, not just the ones on this list. 2 free things you can do today that cost nothing at all. First, rotate 2 pairs of shoes instead of wearing 1 pair every single day. Foam needs about 24 hours to fully decompress and bounce back, and skipping that speeds up how fast any shoe breaks down underneath you. Second, replace walking shoes by mileage, not by how they look on the outside. Somewhere around 300 to 500 miles, even if the shoe still looks brand new, the cushioning underneath has usually already broken down where it counts. Third, do the same thumb press test on shoes you already own before you buy anything new. Sometimes the fix isn't a new pair at all, it's realizing the good shoe you already own has been sitting in the closet while you wear the bad one every day out of habit. If any of this saved you from buying the wrong pair, that's genuinely worth sharing with whoever in your life still swears by flip-flops for their daily walk. It doesn't cost you anything, and it might save them a sore heel next week. And if you want this channel to keep doing the actual digging, instead of just repeating whatever a shoe brand's ad script says, subscribing helps more of this reach the next person asking the same question you had before you clicked play today. Tell me in the comments which one surprised you the most, the budget pick, or the one that topped almost every test. I read every single one. Your feet do more work in a single week than almost anything else in your body, and most people still hand that job to whatever shoe happened to be closest to the door that morning. Next time, we're doing the same honest breakdown for the sneakers everyone assumes are just for looks, and whether a few of them are quietly better for your feet than the ones marketed as real performance shoes. Same rule as today. No sponsor picks, no hype. Just what actually held up when someone tested it for real.